Up next on The Bottom Line, the Council elects new officers for the coming year.
Policies with an eye toward achieving equity and addressing systemic racism, and where we push the envelope to address the existential threat of climate change. To me, that's the Montgomery County promise.
We'll show you how the county has made it easy to get tested for COVID-19.
It's so important for us to try to get as many people tested as possible so that we can help to keep this pandemic down.
We'll take you to a Montgomery County community where they want folks passing through to remember 3 simple words.
Wear your mask.
And Councilmember Sidney KATZ gets a lesson in beekeeping.
And they shouldn't be afraid of a honeybee because a honeybee is actually not going to harm them.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy. The first Tuesday of each December, the County Council elects new officers. For 2021, Tom Hucker will serve as president and Gabe Albornoz will be vice president. We sat down with the newly elected council president to learn about some of his priorities for the coming year. How does it feel?
Fine.
And that is unanimous. Congratulations, and Tom, we all look forward to working with you very soon as council president.
This council believes in a shared ideal. We may not call it the same thing, but I call it the Montgomery County promise. It's a promise to our residents that no matter where you come from, we're glad you're here, that your children can access strong schools where they will be challenged to achieve their full potential, that our young adults can consistently find gainful employment and affordable childcare, where they can pay for their higher education and still save enough to buy a home, start a family, and put away money for retirement, where all of our residents can access dental and health care regardless of their income or their zip code, where our seniors can age in place without being forced to move away, and in recent years, where we make our policies with an eye toward achieving equity and addressing systemic racism, and where we push the envelope to address the existential threat of climate change. To me, that's the Montgomery County promise.
Councilmember Gabe Albornoz was unanimously selected as the council's next vice president. Sidney KATZ leaves his presidency having led the majority of his term virtually through the COVID-19 pandemic and conducting dozens of meetings where critical decisions that would affect the residents of Montgomery County were being made.
As I reflect back on this past year, I am both proud and grateful. I am proud that the council was able to do so much for our residents during one of, if not the most challenging time in our history. The challenges that COVID-19 presented were unprecedented. Our lives were and continue to be upended on every level. It made each person realize that we cannot take for granted so much of what happens to us. Neighbor helping neighbor. It also reminded us of the disparities we are constantly working to eliminate.
Montgomery County is offering free COVID-19 testing. It's quick and easy and important even if you don't have symptoms but may have been in contact with someone diagnosed with the coronavirus. We went with Councilmember Andrew Friedson as he did his part to stop the spread.
So this is one of several sites here. We're partnering with the Caseman Clinic, and we are doing a partnership with the Latino Health Initiative with a targeted approach. We're calling it the Salute Initiative, and it is part of our recognition that this is a virus that has not hit every community the same, that has disproportionately hit certain communities and certain zip codes, and we need to have a targeted response and a targeted approach. The pandemic is disproportionately impacting the Latino community. Latinos are very much frontline workers. They work in construction, they work in food service industries that don't have the benefit of working from home, and in the process putting themselves at risk. So it's so important for us to try to get as many people tested as possible so that we can help to keep this pandemic down.
You can fill this information
If you don't have any symptoms, just leave it blank.
But also broadly to the entire county, making sure that our residents understand that they can get tested, they should get tested, even if they're asymptomatic. I don't know if people realize that we are offering testing to asymptomatic patients. I'm in the 20 to 39 category, so I'm trying to test here as an asymptomatic person in that category. We no longer have a situation where you have to wait until you have symptoms in order to get tested. You should get tested. You should have your relatives and family get tested. And then we also have to do all of the other precautions that are so important to attacking this virus. It's so easy. Social distancing, mask wearing, and frequently washing our hands. And so if we can do all of these things, we can make sure that we get tested. We'll be able to bring down the numbers, which have reached an alarmingly high rate in recent weeks, and we can hopefully get through this together as one community.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but in this up-county community, a group of artists want residents from across the area to remember 3 simple words.
Hyattstown is in the northern part of Montgomery County. The main street isn't very long, but it has a lot of signs. A sign to tell you where to walk, which direction to go, where to eat, and where to buy a house. But on your drive through town, these signs stand out the most. Wear your mask. I'm Councilmember Craig Rice. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but these 3 words are the most important ones to keep you safe.
My name is Bobby Donovan. I'm the executive director of the Hyattstown Mill Arts Project. We did not have use of the art gallery because of COVID, and we decided that the best thing to do was to use the street as our open air gallery with the message of wear your mask. Along the road, you'll see self-portraits executed by regional artists. There's a long tradition of artists doing self-portraits, and in this case, it's self-portraits wearing a mask.
My name is Deborah Ambush. This has been a weight on us for everybody, and is letting people know that we care about them, we care about their welfare.
My name is Mike Schaefer. I think it also serves the purpose of being able to communicate in a nonverbal way.
My name's Charles Bartley. What I was trying to represent was the sickle is to show the death is a possibility by the ignorance if you should not wear masks.
My name is Ann Lundahl. This is my chance to participate and contribute something to our world. You wear a seatbelt, you can wear a mask.
I'm Willie Yawaski. As everybody with the pandemic, we've sort of become invisible because we can't really do it. I did the abstract background, and as it turns out, that looks like the disease and the germs and stuff, you know, so it's a good thing you got your mask on.
Using Route 355 as an open air gallery is something that we have done in the past. Years ago, we sponsored something called the Road Show, which was local artists creating sculptures along with the residents of Hyattstown. And we did that as a traffic calming project. The idea being that drivers would slow down to see the artworks, and it was quite successful.
My name is Risa Hackett. We had to cancel so many activities, wonderful activities and shows we had planned for this year, and this was a way of having a show that other people could enjoy.
My name's Javier Baruf. Why is art a good way to express my feelings? It's my creative outlet. It's my psychiatrist when I could get home. It's the best way I could say it. Somebody I could talk to, and it doesn't argue back.
I'm Susan Piercy. We're hoping that it might spur other artist groups to do something quite similar.
Hi, I'm Luann Collins. My son drove up the street and I said, "Did you see my mask?" And he said, "Oh, I guess that was you, Mom. It said Luann on it."
My name is Sean Collins. We were kind of worried about some kind of backlash or possible people, you know, complaining about, hey, don't tell us to wear masks.
But it's turned out not to be that way.
We haven't had any vandalization or graffiti or nothing torn down.
So everything was positive.
I am really gratified to the artists that have participated. It's a wonderful expression of art intersecting public health, intersecting community building, and looking out for your fellow man.
And finally, if you want to be a beekeeper, they say the best way to learn is in person with another beekeeper, which is just what Councilmember Sydney KATZ did on a recent trip to a local apiary.
This is my apiary over here. Apiary is called a bee yard.
A bee yard.
Where you have all of your hives in one particular area. A nice hobby. We've been doing it about 10 years.
So I know environmentally this is extremely important. Can you explain why, please?
Well, I like bees because they are fun to take care of. They've got an incredible system inside that I just find fascinating, but they're so essential for pollinating everything around us. And I think more has come to light about the essential role of bees. And I have actually had several of my neighbors say to me, my flowers have never looked better, my vegetable garden has never looked better, thank you for your bees. Because the bees will travel around, they'll go and find sources of water, various flowers where things are blooming, and they communicate back to each other and tell each other where to go. So they are very, very important. And we're really very careful about anything we use around them. So, you know, insecticides, pesticides, we're really cautious. Now, Montgomery County has put some laws in place to really control that, which is good for the bee population. You can't control where your bees go. So if my bees might travel like a 2-mile radius, well, I know what I'm doing here to protect my area, but somebody else might be doing something or putting stuff on flowers or doing anything that they could bring back here.
They're bringing back water, and they're bringing back flowers, and they're bringing back everything so they can make honey in their home.
And they shouldn't be afraid of a honeybee, because a honeybee is actually not going to harm them. The only time a honeybee would do anything to you is if you step on it. Of course, it's going to protect itself. And if you try to get into the hive and do something.
How wonderful it is that we have an ag reserve. And so would you have been able to do this if you weren't in the ag reserve?
It certainly helps being in the ag reserve. This is such a fabulous area. I mean, we've been out here over 34 years now, and we just love this part of the county. It's so nice. We can go out our back door, and there are alpacas behind us, there are horses behind us. We would come out, and one of our neighbors had cows. I mean, where else could you go when you just take a walk down the street and just see all of this? It's just beautiful out here. When COVID hit, it was just so wonderful to go out in the yard. We started doing more gardening. We expanded the vegetable garden. It was just great.
What is this?
This is like a version of rock candy, essentially just sugar.
It's called fondant.
Fondant.
And it's literally just sugar and water boiled down and turned into a type of bee candy, or they just call it fondant. We have so many things here and projects and different things to keep us busy that we've done fine through COVID. So Sydney, I have some honey for you from our bees.
Well, thank you
so much for coming up.
I will enjoy it.
Well, thanks for coming and
thank you for
visiting with
me.
my bees.
This is terrific.
Well, that does it for this edition of The Bottom Line. For County Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kennedy.